All right. Dustin is back, and we are live with the Bismo show number 20 something. I don't know.
You keep track, man?
It's just the playlist. I know we're in the 20s now, which is crazy to think about. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. That's a lot of talking Star Wars, talking nerdy stuff. I mean, we've gone through Ahsoka. We're into Bad Batch now, soon to be the Acolyte. And our first guest was Dustin, and now he's back for he's probably in a fourth, maybe even a third of the episodes. I don't even know.
No, thanks for having me back, man. It's always an honor, a pleasure. I was honored to be your first guest, and I'll be honored every time I come on your show because it's always a great time. And I mean, we could talk for hours, but I know we always have fun anytime we're talking Star Wars, Dune, whatever we're talking about, man.
Heck yeah. And I'm excited to get into a little bit more different topics tonight, just catch up with you. And first off, let me say, I appreciate you saying it's an honor and all. It's not, it's not an honor to me. I mean, I just am thankful you're willing to come back on, from the technical difficulties we've had and the other, I guess things I put you through, with our differing opinions on Andor per se, or, among other things, but.
That's true. That's probably the roughest thing. I mean, you cut me deep every time, and I'm still. I talk to my therapist at least once a week about it. No, I don't even have a therapist, but if you do, that's a good thing. I'm just saying I don't. But yeah, I'm just joking. It's all good fun,
So speaking of last time for my birthday, a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago at this point. Man, I'm getting old. Stay on Target. If you don't know who Dustin is, he is the host of Stay on Target. Just click on the Stay on Target button in the title to go to the channel. They have me on. I had a blast for my birthday. And as you can see in the background, I got a very, very spectacular gift, which I'm very thankful for from them. It's all displayed.
Yeah, dude, it was like the perfect combination we felt like for you. It was like anime-themed Star Wars. Is like that just, I feel like
it's amazing.
Completely sum you up, but some of your favorites, so it worked out perfectly.
It's amazing. And got some other gifts too. I actually was thinking about reading just a random quote here from the book you got me, to maybe to inspire some people, some of our listeners out there, or whatever else. All right. Face your fears. Of course, even the most powerful Jedi can feel scared. From Rey to Anakin Skywalker, facing what they feared most was part of their journey to finding their true selves. You can choose to let fear consume you, as it does Obi-Wan's apprentice, or you can draw strength from acknowledging and accepting your fear. Then decide how to confront it. You can take steps as small as Grogu's little shuffle, or a leap like Obi-Wan. No matter the path you pick, remember, that you're as brave as a Jedi while you're on it. That is a great message. And, I've kind of kept this book beside my bed. And if I have rough days with school or just whatever else, it's been nice to just kind of flip through and read some of the messages. It's really, really inspiring. And yeah, the book is Be More Obi-Wan, by the way.
Yeah, man. Your favorite character in Star Wars?
Heck yeah. I want to say hi to some of the people in the chat. I forgot to do that. What's up? Icy Stormy, Cole Thielen, Jeff the Gamer. Happy Easter indeed. Stay on target. Really enjoyed watching the Ahsoka series. Hey, I did too. My brother got me a gift as well, just for you, Dustin. Just for you.
Oh no! Here we go. Oh man!
It's kind of clean though. It's comfortable. I like it.
I did see it. I didn't want to say anything. I'm on your show, so I'm trying to be a great guest. I might have to talk to my therapist later, but that's okay,
And we got Dan, the Stay on Target pilot. What's up? Yeah, so if you've seen from the title, we've kind of got a few different topics to talk about. The first thing I actually do want to get into on a little bit more of a serious note, I just want to say I've mentioned this in my community post or, talked about it a little bit, but I just wanted to, just talk about Dragon Ball for a little bit. Just to honor Akira Toriyama's passing. If you didn't hear, the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, passed earlier this month, unfortunately. I just want to say, he had a really big inspiration for me. I mean, millions and millions, maybe even billions of people out there with the work he did with Dragon Ball and among other works, just inspired so many. And Dragon Ball for me is just such a big part of my childhood, and even now, it kind of similar to Star Wars or like, reading a quote from Obi-Wan or something like that, just kind of inspiring me. Like Goku, for example, whether it's from the original show or just Dragon Ball Z, just the idea of, doing good. I mean, from a simple standpoint, it's a show about, fighting and all of that, but there are a lot of good like family messages in there and just always trying to do the right thing. And just want to say a big thank you to Akira Toriyama. Who's your favorite character though from Dragon Ball? If you had to pick, Dustin.
Oh man, I'm not as well versed with Dragon Ball, but if I had to pick, I always liked Trunks was somebody I really enjoyed in the show. I don't know why. He had the sword, and I thought that was boss. So
yeah,
either that or Gohan. Probably those two are my favorite.
I don't think you can go wrong with either. Trunks is a really great pick. I mean, when we're first introducing you have no idea who he is, and when he takes out his sword and just takes out Frieza in like 2 seconds, and his dad, it's like, what?
Yeah, just blows you away, man.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Yeah, Dragon Ball, man, that is for generations. I mean, that has been inspiring people. Against surmountable odds, you can always become stronger and overcome. I think that's one of the biggest things in all of Dragon Ball in a lot of ways. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all of it. So what great writing. Yeah,
for sure. So many just important messages, and inspired so many too, because I'm just a big fan of anime in general, and we wouldn't have so many different works of art without that inspiration. So thanks again, Akira. I do see we did get some more people in the chat, so I just want to say hi to some of them. What's up, Ethan, the Stay on Target fact checker? Heck yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna lay low. Just have a good time. Skylark as well. What's up? I haven't watched Dragon Ball, but massive sadness for Akira Toriyama's passing. Rest in peace. Amen to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely sad news. But all we can do, we can remorse and, grieve a little bit. Obviously feel bad for the families and all that. But you can honor his work and, watch it, enjoy it, tell people about it. But just I don't know, try to be more like Goku, in the good ways, of course.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Over 9,000.
9,000.
I love the extremeness of that show, man. It is classic.
Definitely. Um, well, let's segue a bit. We haven't been able to talk much about Bad Batch, and obviously Bad Batch is going on right now. There's been like maybe 4 or 5 episodes since we've last talked. I guess what are your thoughts so far? I guess at this point we've gone through 9 episodes. I think we've only got 6 or 7. I think it's only 6 left. We're 9 episodes out of, and we've got 6 left. But where do you think we're, I don't know, sitting? Like, how do you like it so far?
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It feels like it doesn't feel like it's been that many episodes for some reason. Like it feels like it's gone by pretty quick. But I'm like overall, I'm liking this season. I think a lot of it's the fact that they have a end in sight, and that's really kind of condensed the story, I think, a little bit. And they're trying to save stuff for the end, but they're trying to get us geared up for it. So we've had 2 seasons of some ups and downs for me personally, but I think overall this season there's still some where I'm like, okay, it's definitely better. This season's better than I think the first 2, in my opinion. And I really like this last episode. It was really a good one for me. But overall, the episodes have been pretty solid. I like where we're heading. It's not totally blowing me away, but I'm having a good time with it. And this latest episode to me, man, it just felt like they're finding their groove here. Like, I know we're 3 seasons in, but it feels like this episode, even out of this season, we're like finding a groove. Like they're all acting like the way they should act, and I'm really starting to enjoy them individually more, but then also together more. So there are a lot of questions. I don't know what's going to happen at the end. They could definitely throw us some curveballs, and that's kind of the fun of it right now. So that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, that's a really good take, man. I like the thoughts. I think I'm kind of at pretty similar, like where how I currently feel. I will say though, for seasons 1 and 2, I think generally I'm a little bit more positive as far as like,
really? Okay.
I didn't take, well, like, I guess maybe compared to like maybe what you were thinking, because there is a lot of filler in season 1 and 2. Like I won't get that won't mix up. But I think when I was watching season 2 and season 1, there wasn't a thought in my mind that season 3 is going to be the end, like, and that's going to be it. I think we didn't even know season 3 was going to be the final season until after season 2 or sometime during it. I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure you're right though.
But either way, when I was watching it, there was never a sense of urgency for me, right? So it's just like every week I'd come in and being a huge fan of animated Star Wars, I grew up with the Clone Wars as my main kind of thing getting me into it. I'm pretty, biased to just say, well, it's basically I get to watch Clone Wars. It's kind of like bonus content for me each week. And then when we got those really lights out episodes, like the Crosshair ones, especially Commander Cody, even like Gunji, the Wookiee Jedi, some of those ones, really, really great. Like that's like kind of peak level Star Wars for me. There was a lot of filler though, and I wasn't really sure where their direction was. And I didn't like that there wasn't a ton of character development though. But I could overlook a lot of those things for the idea of like, well, we're exploring some new planets or going back to some places we've already been to, and it's kind of bonus content. But now that I know we're in season 3, and this is it for this story, I view is a little bit shifted, if you get what I'm saying. There's a little bit more urgency, and I'm a little bit harsher, to be honest. And I think they've done a good, like, I think they understand that this is the last season, and there's a sense of urgency. And I do like the mood. Like the mood's pretty consistent for the most part. But I'm not gonna say, like, if I could rate myself, or rate it 0 to 5 right now, I wouldn't be putting it out of 5 through 9 episodes. I think I'm somewhere in honestly a 3.5 to 4 right now. I'm like, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, but my expectations are a little bit higher now that there's 6 episodes left. And before the season, I was speculating, and even before the mid-season finale, like, I want a lot of things to happen quickly so we can accomplish more. They accomplished a lot in that first 3 set of episodes, and I was super excited. I'm like, yes, we're going to get a lot of different things. And now for the past 3 or 4 weeks, we've got some cool stuff, but let's not put it 2 ways different. We've got mostly filler, although we've gotten like some good character development, and it's been a little bit of filler. So I'm a little bit concerned now with are we gonna have like a Mando season 3? We're gonna go back to Tantus in the last 2 episodes, wrap everything up, and boom, that's the story. Like I'm a little nervous here. I'm being honest.
No, dude, and you're right to be nervous about it because they feel like Star Wars lately, just in general, just does not really know how to deliver on the meat. It's like you get like a tiny bit of it in the beginning typically, and maybe a little bit throughout, but it's mostly filler, and then you get like maybe a tiny bit at the end. You get like one answer at the end, or you get like one tease at the end instead of like giving us solid like this is what's happening, or giving us an episode that like covers a lot. Like Mando season 2.5, when they like discuss like Night of 1,000 Tears. I mean, that was like so much lore just dropped, and I was just like, what? Like one episode, I like, whoa, what are you doing? This is Boba Fett, But that's how it's crazy to me. But I agree with you. That's kind of been the MO though for Bad Batch for me. There's a lot of episodes you got to kind of slog through. In some ways, they still have their moments, and it's still like comfort food, like you're saying about being like kind of like Clone Wars. Clone Wars to me is a lot. There's some peak stuff in Clone Wars. That's why I really love Clone Wars. And there's some peak stuff in this with the Crosshair episodes, like you said. It's just getting to those is sometimes like, ugh. But then like I remember watching it last year during Mando season 3, and like some of the Crosshair episodes that happened last year, they like were better than some of the Mando episodes. I was like, what the crap is going on right now? You know? But as far as this season goes, I completely agree with you on being nervous for what's to come. I mean, you guys got a lot to cover, hopefully, right? Right, guys? You guys got something interesting you're gonna deliver for us at the very end. I just
don't want to predict the entire like. So, is Mount Tantus like? I know we've been teasing it, but is it? That's it. Like, there's nothing like crazy to it. We're just gonna get all the clones out, have a major blow to the Empire by like breaking, Mount Tantus. Just one last heist. I'd like to think there's more,
I know. Is it going to be a clone uprising? Is that what we're leading to? It feels like that's what we're leading to, but they got a lot to get to do that still.
Yeah, the 6 episodes, and that is something I wanted to see. Obviously, with What Ifs or whatever else, I really love the clone uprising. Question from Cole: is there going to be an Ahsoka season 2? I guess quick side note. I mean, they said they're working on Ahsoka season 2. I think we'll get a story told that will tell what's supposed to be Ahsoka season 2. Honestly, don't know what the future of Star Wars shows are. Like, are they just going to be movies? I could see Mando and Grogu being just the first movie, and then whatever Ahsoka season 2 was going to be, they make that like episode 2 of whatever they're doing. So
yeah, I feel like Ahsoka season 2 is really just going to be like you're saying. I think it's going to be probably like the Thrawn like movie type deal that has Ahsoka in there. She's going to be a big part of it.
Honestly, I think they should do that.
Just combine it. Yeah.
Yeah. I want the movie format, and that something. I don't like being conditioned like I have been to just like status quo. Like, okay, nothing happened for like 80% of this show or like 80% of an episode, and then I'm like, oh, I finally get something good, and I'm just like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But there's no two ways about it. There's still a lot of slow moments in Ahsoka. I loved Ahsoka for the good moments, but if you could cut out the what's that face?
I mean, there's some good moments in Ahsoka, I guess.
You're telling me you're not like in episode 5 with Anakin? Come on.
Okay, so that's the best episode of the entire like. And honestly, I could just literally watch that and not any of the rest of it, and I'd probably be happier. That's a little harsh, but obviously they knew that was the best one, though, too. That's the only one they put in theater. Why didn't they have so much confidence?
That part is lame. That part is lame, but I will agree. If you're putting, like, episode 5 out of 8 in the theater and not episode 8, what are we doing? Like, that is kind of annoying, but I'm appreciating, like, I liked the 4, 5, 6. Pretty adamant. I really liked that, like, the midsection of that show. I liked most of the show just because it felt super Star Warsy to me. But there's no two ways about it that for a casual viewer or even it doesn't, not even like, okay, casual viewers definitely are lost. And then, I don't know, maybe people that fall more into your end, I guess. I don't know how to, my words aren't great here, but either way,
you good.
There were some slower moments or some less high quality acting moments that needed to be sorted out. And I think if you take like, what is the total runtime?
Yeah, and while you're looking that up, to be fair, it is Dave's like first outing on his own. So, as in live action when it comes to that. So I could see where that could be real challenging. I just think maybe he got bogged down and too much of that and not enough in like developing the characters, and like working on the story. I felt like it was more visuals than it was like story. And it was like, dude, you got to make the characters. There's a lot of things you got to fix here to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted more because I know Dave can deliver more.
Yeah,
and
I really hope this wasn't like a KK thing, because I'm almost like refused. It might be. I'm like, it's hard for me to pin it on Dave, but if we get another stinker, right, or like not to the best, not to like peak Clone Wars or whatever else, Tale of the Jedi, I guess level, be tough.
What everybody in the chat? The chat like Ahsoka? I'd like to hear from them. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'm curious. We can. Well, actually, we'll get to this poll because it's an interesting topic in a second in itself. But what I looked up, it says Ahsoka season 1. Just guess how long would it take to just binge it? Just rough.
Well, it's 8 episodes, right? So what was it like? They weren't all an hour, right? So it was like 7 hours or something like that.
I think it was 5 hours and 53 minutes. Which
5 hours. Wow, I was way off. Okay,
but it's still like
it felt a lot longer to me. I'm just saying.
But that's too long. Still, I think that's like it's either too short or too long. If it's that long, I don't know. They could have chopped that up into 2 hours and 30 minutes and put that into a movie, and it would have been spectacular.
I completely agree with you, man. That would have been the way to go. And if they would have done that, I think I'd be saying a totally different thing right now. I really think that condensing that story into a movie, 2.5 hours, big budget, even throwing it in theaters, because then you get that epic in the big screen again, with Anakin, and then maybe hype up that ending even more and make things a little bit more succinct, really drive the emotions of everything. I don't know.
If you put that in one, because it is important how it ends, but if you attach like, oh, okay, maybe our best moment is that middle section, but you clean up things a little bit and it's still a good story overall, that would have done so good. Like, right. I don't know.
Right, like think about this. Like the climax of the movie is like maybe Ahsoka like basically does die, but like goes to the world between worlds instead of dying. But that's like when everybody else needs her to like defeat Thrawn, or like the witches are coming in, they push her into the world between worlds, and like she's like fighting to get back to reality so that she can save her friends. And she's seeing like different timelines with Anakin, and he's teaching her what she needs to learn to overcome this, surmountable odds. So that would, can you imagine that? I think that would have been epic to see that, dude. Because then you're fighting in like 3 different planes, space battle. You got her in like the world between worlds, and then you got Sabine and Ezra fighting against the Night Sisters and like Thrawn. That would have been so cool. That would have been like a perfect movie setup right there.
Yeah. To close though the Ahsoka discussion a little bit, I will say, although there's things I would have done differently and would have cleaned up, the good moments for me in the show were still good enough overall that I really enjoyed it. It's kind of just similar to a lot of, well, like if we go to like Andor, the elements I like about Andor, let's just take the good elements and do that for season 2. For Ahsoka, let's just clean it up and do because there's a lot of fun stuff like in it. And I think I just was so attached to the fun that I could overlook some of the other stuff.
Well, and there's a lot of history there. That's kind of like you're coming in with like 4 seasons of Rebels and also Clone Wars. These characters if you've seen all that coming into it, or you've seen Rogue One, but it's even before that, so it's different. And that's why I think Ahsoka, a lot of people who watched it in the past knew all the characters were okay with it. But you mix Andor, like the best parts of Andor and the best parts of Ahsoka. Yeah, I agree.
That would be that's what I want. That is just high quality show, high quality Star Wars, like in lore. Like, because again, those are kind of different things to me. Like Andor, the problem for Andor to me is it just doesn't feel like you can't tell me that it's it's hard for me to watch that and be like, yeah, that's Star Wars. Like, I don't know. It just feels like a sci-fi, like an HBO wannabe sci-fi. Now add some fun lore into it with maybe a little bit more interesting story with the great cinematography and acting of Andor, which I have to admit takes the cake over the Ahsoka acting, and you got something truly special.
Yeah, you take those elements like you're saying, like that dialogue that you get from like those characters in Andor, some of them, and then put it into Ahsoka, and you have that like intelligent dialogue that like moves the plot forward, but keeps everybody engaged. I mean, some of the monologues, man, I'm just like, that's like the standouts for me. But the pacing, I agree, wasn't exactly 100%, and storytelling in Andor was like, they had some loose threads that they didn't tie up, and it was a little off for that as well. But I mean, yeah, all of them have had that. That's the thing. Nothing's really like popped off as like, oh my goodness, they just blew me away.
Yeah. Well, to kind of lead into our next segment, to kind of relate, so we've got a poll going on, and it's 50-50 right now. The question is just, have you seen Dune? And 50% of people say they have in the chat, 50% haven't. The reason I want to kind of, bring this up and relate it, though, is I think part of the problem with a lot of these shows and a lot of these Star Wars projects is a budget thing, but not necessarily like, oh, there was too little of a budget. The budget was used poorly or mismanaged, or, oh, this actor is making this much, now we have this much to use on special effects. I saw Dune, the newest Dune, and this is going to be a spoiler warning, by the way, if you haven't seen Dune, because we're going to talk a little bit about it. But anyhow, with non-spoilers, I think Dune 2 has like a $200 million budget, which is, I think, the same or a little less than, like, say, Andor or something like that, or just anything. Yeah. I have never seen a movie so visually stunning and accomplish so much that Star Wars could do, and that budget is the same or less. Like, what are we doing, Lucasfilm? What are we doing?
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I always said this about Dune, like the first and the second one, but like you take any frame from those movies and you can make a poster out of it. That's just how like Denis Villeneuve makes movies, and it's epic, dude. And he just knows how to make it look cinematic, and it looks amazing. And I completely agree. There's a lot of story. I mean, technically he broke up one book into two sections. So but there are two movies, so they work independently. Obviously, you know at the end of the first one, for the most part, there's got to be more, which is crazy that they didn't greenlight that immediately. Yeah. Did you know that they actually waited?
I saw an article about, like, I heard it's not even confirmed still though. Like, it's like, I'll only do it if I know I can do a better job.
Yeah, no. I'm saying from the first movie, they hadn't greenlit the second part.
Oh, really?
They waited for it to come out before they greenlit the second one. I'm like, you guys are nuts. Like, anybody watching that, obviously it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
Why have you not? I mean, it was probably a sure thing for the most part, but like, that's what I heard. But yeah, and then even with the next one, I heard that, he's like, only if I can do better. Yeah. But there's a lot of deep lore, man, so they could keep going for a while.
They definitely could keep going. Like, that was still very shocking to me that they might not do 3, but that's a quality thing, a quality control thing. The person doesn't want to do another one, just a third movie, because he's, if he does it, it's got to be better than the previous two. And that's a difficult task, I will say. Like, just with anything, when you achieve greatness, which Star Wars Legacy, with Empire Strikes Back, it's hard to like top something like that. So given benefit of the doubt, a lot of the new stuff, we're coming out a lot of stuff. It is hard to like, compete with the absolute greatest you've ever done, like to give some credit. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure to kind of repeat that success. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. And it doesn't mean you can make something different that is equally good or better in different ways, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's why, like, I think Dune, the difference I feel like with Dune and Star Wars is Dune really respected the source material, and he drew from it. He made some changes, which I thought was bold and interesting, but he definitely respected what was there and brought it to life in a way that I was like so believable and epic, dude. That's the thing about Dune 2 for me. Even in the first one, I was like, just the scope of everything and what was happening. I was just, there were scenes, I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes, this is epic.
Heck yeah, yeah. So yeah, I knew it was a book, but I've never actually read the book. So it sounds like you've read the book, or
I did read the first. That's the only one I've read. I've only read the
okay.
first book, which
What?
is part one and part two
Yeah.
that he's done so far.
Okay, yeah, I figured that out. I know there's like 6 or 7 books or something
Dude,
crazy.
I think there's even more than that. I think there's like 12 or something. I
Oh
haven't gone
my.
past. I haven't got there. To be honest, they're quite sci-fi, and it can be a little like it's not the most like I don't know. It's not
See,
as
like,
exciting in some ways as
yeah,
like a Star Wars or something like that. You know.
yeah.
So
What I'm getting at is if they make like 20 of these movies or like 15 of these movies, it probably would get old, right? To some
I would
extent.
imagine. I mean, not knowing the full
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
I don't 100% know.
But
But I
it
mean,
would
if he
be
keeps
hard
popping
though.
off, yeah, yeah, it would be very difficult. You know, it might almost lend itself better to like an HBO series. You know, like a high budget
Yeah.
series to
Oh, that
tell
would
all these
be.
stories.
Honestly, when I first saw like stills of it, I assumed it was just something on HBO because I really didn't get into it.
Right.
Like you were the one that got me into it. To like, I was like on my just my break a few weeks back, and I was like, oh, I'll watch the first Dune, and then I was like, all right, I'm watching the second Dune in theaters while I can,
Yeah.
and that was it was so great. Saw it with my mom too, and she's like, this is the best movie I've seen, like
Yeah.
in theaters. Which for
It's
me, of movies I've seen in theaters, I think that was the best experience I've had in theaters. I gotta be honest.
really wow. Ever or just like in the recent years?
Might be that I can think of. Yeah, like think of it like this. I haven't been able to see. I never saw like Revenge of the Sith in theaters, so
Right.
I think that would be probably take the
That would.
cake.
Ooh,
But
yeah. That would.
I've seen the sequels, and I've seen like Rogue One in theaters, and I don't know, Dune.
Yeah, just the sheer scope of it and the epicness of that movie, man, it does take the
I
cake. And the crazy thing is, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say maybe some of the Hobbit movies could have like
Yes.
compared to what I've seen in theaters. But what were you gonna say?
Desolation of Smog, man. Desolation of Smog is one of my favorites in theaters. I really enjoyed that one. I was just gonna say, kind of tying it into Star Wars though, too, is that Dune. George Lucas took inspiration from Dune. The voice that they use, that's where he got the idea for like the Jedi mind control and stuff like that. So and even Spice. So
Yeah, I've been like, what's with the thing with Spice? I see it in so much media. Like in the games, other games I play too, or like video games. So like there's this series, like the Sly Cooper series I've been, it's just like a platformer, and one of the bosses like has spice, and it's like some kind of like drug or something else too. It's just like it
yeah,
shows up in so much different media. So did it come
yeah.
from Dune though
It
originally?
came from I think it came from Dune originally, as far as I'm aware. I can't think of any other series that's come before that's referenced drugs or like spice,
Hmm.
and what it does. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. And he got inspiration even from Dune for like Tatooine and stuff like that. And the hero's journey still. So it's really interesting. I like that tie-in. I like that he kind of took all this inspiration, this sci-fi inspiration, and threw it into Star Wars. And you can see the symmetry. It's just
Hmm.
crazy that now Dune's coming out and like blowing Star Wars away. So
Yeah. No, it's kind of like, well, like George kind of had to piggyback some ideas of Dune, then make Star Wars, right? And
yeah,
then the brilliance of George made it possible for
yeah,
the cinematography and all that. Now come full
yeah.
circle. Dune's like, well, you kind of used our ideas to begin with. Let's just use Lucasfilm's ideas for how to make film and just do it a little better.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point. It's full circle. It's come full circle. It's like poetry. It
Yeah.
rhymes.
Exactly. And
Right.
but
Exactly.
I like that though. I don't like status quo. Like I think that's the problem with
Yeah.
Lucasfilm is like George Lucas was like a explorer in the film world. Like he tried to make things better, as push the boundaries. Are we
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries right now with what we're getting, or were we just status quoing?
Oh man, it's status quo. It's cookie cutter, man. It's like, all right, how many scenes can we fit? Oh, all right, break for lunch. It's not like that's what it feels like in a lot of ways. It's like, what are we pushing here? Are we pushing story? Are we pushing cinematography? Are we taking us to a totally different way of filmmaking? Like, I'd say the Avatar series is doing not Avatar: Last Airbender, but the Avatar series with James Cameron, I think is pushing things more than anyone
Yeah,
else at the moment.
definitely. I also enjoyed that second film, as well. In theaters. I saw it twice. I will say it is definitely a long movie to see twice in
Yeah.
theaters, but yeah, I still can't believe seeing that the first time in theaters. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
like the first one.
I know. Yeah, it looked clean. It looks so good. I loved how he put everything together. For me, you never bet against James Cameron when it comes to filmmaking. He's a masterclass.
Top 3 highest box office films now.
Yeah, I think so.
The Titanic and both Avatars.
Yeah, and Avatar was number 1 for the longest time. Is it still? It might still be number 1 globally. I'm not sure, domestic or globally. I don't know if anything beat it out globally. I know Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay, I was a bit off. He's got 3 of the top 4. It's Avatar, yeah, the original still is the highest. Avengers Endgame is number 2, but then he's got Avatar: The Way of Water, and then Titanic at 4. Force Awakens comes in at 5.
5, okay.
And you see so many films that were able to crack $1 billion, and why are we like, if Disney wanted to make money, why don't they make good Star Wars movies?
Dude, that's the thing that bugs me the most still about Star Wars nowadays. It's like, there's a formula of like success, and you like throughout the formula tried to do your own thing, but after like the first 2, you should have realized our new formula sucks. Let's go back to the old formula and make billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah,
it's like the dumbest move ever.
And let's not get it too twisted too. The sequels made a lot of money. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, they made a lot of money. There was a decline after the first movie, but even Rise of Skywalker cracked $1 billion, and I don't know. Like, just
is that globally?
Yeah, globally. Yeah. I don't think
know if anybody movie's done domestically $1 billion as it. Yeah.
Dune's done crazy numbers domestic. I kind of look at domestic now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Force Awakens holds the number 1 spot for domestic.
Right.
At 936 mil, which crazy.
I mean, you could have put the worst movie ever of Star Wars out. And you're gonna say it is. You would have made the most, just for the fever pitch of Star Wars fans wanted to see anything Star Wars again, in theater. So
like 12 years of no movies, just games, and a growing fan base, just chomping at the bit. Oh, a lot of Clone Wars to keep, but no movies. And then,
dude, but if they would have done it right though, the sequel trilogy, they would have seen numbers like. The last one in that series should have made like double the Force Awakens. I mean,
I agree. It should have been an upward trend.
Yeah,
and 100%. What annoyed me the most about that, like I'd say maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, was like I was very much, and I still am, like kind of like I care about Star Wars and I like the brand itself. I didn't like seeing Marvel starting to like kick its butt, kind of, and like it. Marvel was more popular than Star Wars for a time, so it might still be potentially. I actually think Marvel has fallen off even harder than Star Wars lately. It's actually it's like so which, if anything, shows a testament to the longevity of the Star Wars brand. Like, I think there has been some major casualties. That the ship is taken on heavy water, but I think Marvel is actually like sunk, whereas Star Wars is still afloat just because of the longevity of the brand itself, though. So you can always come back to a lot of stuff that we like anyhow.
I just think the fandom of Star Wars is always going to be stronger to me in Star Wars than Marvel. I mean, you're always going to have those comics that will hold true, but not that like change culture, cinematography forever style that Star Wars did. You can't top that. I mean, but Marvel did such a great run, man. I mean, with Infinity War was the Empire Strikes Back, for Marvel, and Endgame was a great. They went off on a few rabbit trails with Endgame I didn't love, but but it was still delivered. It was one of the most epic series, and that was revolutionary just for combining like that many movies. I mean, you basically did like a huge show, and then that many movies together, and to actually make it work and hype it up to be that big, it's crazy. That's so difficult to do over that amount of time. So
gotta give them props to that. And I was never a huge Marvel fan, but even they reeled me in, and it is a special story to kind of watch all those different movies and then watch that, and to go on that journey.
And the genius of Marvel is the fact that they pulled and they respected, at least when they were respecting more of the source material, and really bringing that to life in a way that fans wanted to see. That's the genius of it. Whereas, like, I think if Star Wars would have pulled from the source a lot of the legends, you cut out the crap, because even in Marvel there's some goofy stuff. Like, you don't want to show everything in Marvel. But in like Star Wars, there's gonna be some of the lore it's very silly in some ways, but then you cherry pick. You take some of the best moments and you add it in. You don't have to do everything exactly the same, but I mean, just do the Thrawn trilogy and you would have made $2 billion. I'm just saying, if they would have done that as a sequel trilogy, I will sing that for the rest of my days. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, no, it's fair, and I hope we get to see some kind of rendition of it, though. I mean, I don't think it's possible for that. I mean, I guess they could still just kind of just do it, but I would love to see cherry pick the best moments of that and make that still a trilogy. I still want to see that on screen.
Yeah, I think Dave might try it, but
I mean, he's a huge fan. Like that, there's no like. Timothy Zahn said it himself, meeting, they've talked or whatever, and he
talked to him. That was so cool.
His point in case was, Dave Filoni grew up with, kind of similar to you though. Like that was his Star Wars at the time, so it's not that he doesn't like not like it. I think it might be things outside of his control again, though, as to why he can't just do it. But maybe this, Bob Iger's like, all right, what are we doing? Maybe these next set of movies, they're just gonna give a lot of free reign. Like, I don't want to just lose hope, but we're in a tough spot. But anytime Star Wars is on the big screen, I feel like there's always a chance for greatness,
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see this Mando and Grogu and where it goes. And Bad Batch has been, like, I'm still optimistic. I just am nervous as to where they're going to wrap up here, because that's a whole nother thing. Star Wars animated, like, arguably probably just better than just the shows we get non-animated. How I see it is, like, Star Wars animated is a much more consistent, good thing. You can't really go wrong with it. If average, like, live action Star Wars is worse than average animated Star Wars, but live action with real people, if you could make that good, it's better than anything animated can do, though. So it's kind of like pros and cons. Ideally, you just have the best of everything, though.
Yeah. What if Ahsoka season 2? What if they actually came out with Ahsoka season 2 animated? Would you be cool with that? If
it's better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'd be a little bit more concise. You follow Ahsoka and those characters, Hati,
I think I would still, just because they started the story, probably, I do like Emin Esfandi, for example. I know we didn't see a whole lot of him, but I'm excited to see Ezra in live action more, and I think he's going to be one of the main characters moving forward. Like, I don't think Ahsoka season 2 will end up being a thing, because I think they're going to move past this, like, titling of just, like, a character. Like, you just need to call it Star Wars something. I'll be honest.
Right. Right. Get back to more of the formula that works better.
But then they won't feel this, like, oh, well, that was part of the problem. They call it the Ahsoka show when it's, like, kind of half her show and half Rebels. So, like, some of it feels a little forced when it's like, just call it something else. I don't know. Make it not feel like you have to include a character. It's just like Book of Boba Fett. Like, we don't even, there's 7 episodes. One of the episodes, he's not even in it. Like, he's just not even in it.
What am I watching right now? It was so jarring. I was like, it was jarring to me watching that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love the moments more without Boba Fett in it than I did Boba Fett.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's some of the best Star Wars. I still quote it as that episode 6 with Luke is one of my favorite moments ever in Star Wars, all Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know. They got to work on some name convention that's better than just calling it a popular character, because that's just not working.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mandalorian Grogu's different, but
yeah, we'll see, man.
I mean, it's a movie, but what were you saying?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. The sad thing is just the state of Star Wars, man. It's hard to get like as optimistic as we were before. You know, like Mandalorian time, we were like popping. We were like, okay, we got hope. We got we got some people that know what they're doing a little bit more, and you know that was at least the hope on the horizon. I feel like after, and Andor for me was also like a breath of fresh air. It was just different enough, and I enjoyed what they did for the most part. But then like. Even season 3 of Mando didn't really do it for me, and it felt a little bit more cookie cutter, like Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan, and then just some of the things they did. It's just harder to get more like. We're still being optimistic, and we're gonna call it good things when they're good for sure. But it's just like it's sad that we have to go in being like. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
we're being cautiously optimistic.
Well, speaking of like going into something and going, I don't know, man. I mean, the Acolyte. I mean, that's just a perfect example. We haven't had any like stories relating to this at all, and now you're gonna drop a completely new thing, and the trailer is like lackluster. Like, how am I supposed to get like super excited?
Oh, dude, I know, man. That's the crazy thing now. That is like the craziest thing about that trailer and like the downvotes is like how many downvotes there are. That means like people are going out of their way, and that's not even like hardcore Star Wars fans. I mean, that number is showing me that it's a lot more than just hardcore Star Wars fans that are down voting that, and that to me feels like a shift. Like I feel like we might have finally like gone too far in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like they're finally like, all right, enough's enough. We let you.
Because to be fair, I didn't think that like I put a live reaction first time watched it, and there was I was pretty mixed. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I've got some concerns. I don't know, but I didn't realize that it was gonna be berated like that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be berated that bad, and really the trailer was so kind of meh. I didn't think it was even.
I only watched it once, dude. What if I pull it up right now and
yeah, do it.
We watch it. Wait. Okay. Wait. How do I do this?
Yeah, it's just there's so much going on right now. Like I'm very nervous for that show. Like I think like we're gonna get some stuff in that we're gonna be like, what in the crap were they thinking? But who knows? It could blow us away. I thought Andor was going to be the worst of all the 3 shows coming out that year, live action, and that ended up being my favorite. So
yeah,
are you playing it right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm struggling to put our faces on in here. Actually, no, I can do this. I can do this. Just have faith.
I have faith in you more than I do Star Wars right now. I mean, we always have faith. And what I always say with Star Wars is the fans are what keeps Star Wars alive. It's you and me talking about Star Wars. It's everybody in the chat talking Star Wars. It's because we know it can be good, and we know there's going to be better Star Wars coming. We're just in the dark ages right now, it feels like. We got to get through some more dark ages before we can get to the light.
Yeah. Kind of have a little. You're saying good stuff. Sorry, I'm kind of brain farting a little bit. I'm just gonna. Okay, I appreciate it. I'm just gonna play the trailer. I don't know if you can.
I'm kind of watching it on the stream, so I'll be a little bit behind.
Okay, we'll just play it.
I've seen it a few times.
We'll just play it. Okay, I haven't seen it in a while. I just kind of want to react to it again.
Do we gotta talk over it for?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
we'll risk it.
We're risking it.
We must not
close your eyes.
the one kid that can't close his eyes.
What the crap, man? I like that dude though. He seems interesting to me, the main guy.
Your eyes
yeah, I do like some of the actors in here. Where's the?
Are you trying to find it?
Yeah,
the kid that can't close his eyes.
Yeah.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
it looks very expensive fan film to me.
Yeah.
I see fire.
Yeah. Okay. There.
You found it.
I see fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know, this whole like Jedi Padawan thing like doesn't seem too bad for me, but like this, I don't know what to make of the. And something about the music too. Like this sounds like not Star Wars music. That sounds like wannabe Dune to me.
Right. Yeah. It's like what inspirations are you pulling for this show? Like
someone is killing Jedi.
With a knife? Somebody's killing him with a knife?
Yeah, right. Dune for sure, man.
What happened?
We get Trinity in there, you know, from The Matrix.
Right. Is this I'll pause it here for so it catches up, but is this Naboo or is this just some random place?
Oh yeah, that's a good. You know, it might be Naboo, but interesting enough, a lot of people were speculating that they might be going to Ahch-To.
Oh yeah, there are some similar waves, I guess.
Darkness.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, it could even be. Oh shoot, this is High Republic time, so a while ago.
See, the thing is, though, is
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is
so
that?
confused.
I know, and there's no good and evil anymore. I get what you're going for, but
Yeah,
this is
it's
Star
just
Wars.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's tough because I'm not gonna like completely I'm gonna watch it. There's no two ways about it. I'm not like I am gonna watch it. You know, give my take on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a little bit. It just didn't feel a whole lot of Star Wars. I mean, there's Jedi robes in it. Even just some of the things they weren't saying didn't sound. I mean, we're in a different time frame, so thinking of it like that. If I like read some of like let's say like the Bane book or something like that, some of the dialogue a Jedi might say, maybe it would sound like they'd sound a little different. But I don't know. We've got an assassin that isn't using a lightsaber. That's just that's taking out Jedi. Is that what
Yeah.
doing?
How in the heck is that? Yeah, I mean, there's gonna have to be some real, hopefully creative stuff. You know, honestly, it would have been better if they were like dressed up as like a Mandalorian or something assassin.
Yeah,
they would have stood a better chance. It feels like, but
yeah, we'll have to definitely see what the deal is. But obviously, something about that trailer people didn't like, or like you're saying, that people are fed up. And I mean, I don't necessarily blame them. The thing is, I've been advocating that I want a story that is super far in the future or far back, just away from this whole, main timeline. Because we've got we're zooming in every little bit. It's getting oversaturated. I think that's part of the problem. And this is kind of like doing that, but it's not enough though. I don't think. Like, even though it's like before a lot, it's still like kind of directly ties into a lot. Like, I'd rather we went to like the Old Republic, because now if we do this and it's bad and it just steps all over like lore that I already know and love, like the Plagueis book, and it's bad. Like we've talked about this in previous shows before, previous times about like, the Plagueis book, and like if this will like step on that, I guess.
yeah, right, and it might. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure. Do you know the timeline? Is it like?
I think it's 200 years before
200.
the
Okay.
Phantom, which would like make it in line with like Plagueis's master timeline. But either way, like Rule of Two,
like Tenebrous.
we're in Rule of Two like Sith. So
Right.
if there are Sith, like there can be dark Jedi. Like I'm not gonna be one of those. There's some extreme people saying some things like, if a Jedi sees a red lightsaber, like they have to die.
Yeah.
I'm not in that camp. I'm sorry. Even with what I know and like the Rule of Two stuff, like there were dark Jedi out there. There were people that used the dark side. I'm not gonna just knock it. I do want to see what's going on here. But if they say that they're Sith and somehow somebody escapes or something like that, that is a problem. It's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Yeah, why even mess with that? That's like what you're saying. It's like, why even try? I mean, at this point, you guys have done that. You've done this. You've like tried you've tried keeping it close to the original trilogy and piggybacking off of the main characters, not to your success. So let's go back, like you're saying, farther. Let's get even farther away from that so that, you know, you don't even have to risk it. Let's play it safe, you know? I mean, do you think I mean, they can't not show Master Yoda, right? I mean, they're gonna show Master Yoda.
That's gotta, I feel like, you know, just with any trailer, they leave out some bits, right? They like, obviously they want to entice, but there's got to be some like cool reveals. And I think the creator of the show or whatever said something about there'll be a lot of tie-ins to the prequels or whatever else. I feel like we'd have to. I mean, he's Yoda in his prime. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. It would be, I kind of hope. I mean, that might be like the best part of the whole thing for me, as long as they do it right. Unless they paint Yoda as like the evil guy. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I think my expectation at this point though is like, and just I mean, I think step back a little bit to Ahsoka. Like, I think, you know, for you, a part of the problem is, right, they're stepping on lore like you know and love already. Like, you'd rather have just had the actual Thrawn trilogy, and like I kind of agree with that. But for me, it like where I would be, you know, like have a similar feeling is now a time period like this with the kind of like the Plagueis book. Like, I'm going into it now, like already kind of upset that I know that they're not going to do that at all. But are they going to take some ideas, or is it just going to be similar?
I mean, what if they do? I mean, to be fair, they might line it up perfectly leading into like the Plagueis book, you know, and that would be okay if they do it well and they respect that source material. You know, I think I'll be less upset as long as the story is good. You know, the real things, we just want good storytelling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't have to like match up, but if it's kind of like, as long as the story is good. Bottom line, if the story is good, all right, pretty much it's all good then. It's, you know, you can get away with a lot. If the story is like pretty good, but you're like actively ignoring something or like stepping on something and not respecting already pre-existing great ideas that have been made for a time frame, that's when you get kind of, you know, annoyed or at it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And even like hints and nods go a long way, you know. And the problem is, like, with Star Wars, they don't even hit a nod and things. They just like kind of wreck what's come before. They're like, no, we're just gonna do our own thing. So it's like, no, even if you just hint like nicely at it and you don't step on that, you can still do your own thing, nod at it, and not really address it, and that's gonna play so much better with all the fans because you already have a built-in fan base with all that stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, a message here from Trent saying there are lots of red lightsabers that are not Sith, and that's basically what I was exactly saying though. And like I'm someone that's super passionate out there that when like Balin and Shin came on screen and people were like saying, we got new Sith, I'm like, no, those are not Sith. Those are Dark Jedi. I actually made a lore video, or that's maybe the proper term, but they're definitely not Sith, is what they are. Right. But yeah, especially in the Bane trilogy, some of my favorite characters are these Dark Jedi that are like, maybe they're wannabe Sith, or maybe they're just dark side Force users that used to be Jedi that are just kind of doing their own thing. There's this one guy that just lives in a mansion by himself, has no objective, uses the dark side of the Force, just collects like artifacts for fun. There can be a lot of different dark side Force users that aren't Sith, and they could still make for great villains. It's just the thing though. If you start throwing the word around, and again, we've got to see it though. If we start just throwing Sith Lord on anything that's got a red lightsaber and then not really addressing it or ignoring the rule of two, that's when like we get upset. I think we're more reasonable on that aspect. Where I think there's some people out there that like they're already upset that there's even a red lightsaber at all. Like,
right, yeah, but yeah, to be real and be fair, there's obviously going to be dark side users during this entire timeline because I mean not everybody's going to agree with the Sith all the time for 1,000 years. Yeah. So I mean the natural path. There was like hiccups in the rule of two where
they had infighting even within that, or somebody like messed up. So there's definitely room for story.
And they would take on sometimes the rule of 2. They would take on like 2 apprentices and have those apprentices fight to continue, to see which one's stronger. I think even didn't Tenebrous' master even do that against him or something like that? I forget.
Tenebrous. Yeah, he had one of the I forget Tenebrous' species, but somebody of his same species in a like that he actually had already trained, and meets Plagueis one day, and Plagueis is like, you poor sap, because he was not super strong compared to Plagueis, but so they basically just have to tread very lightly when it comes to saying the word Sith at all. And or if they do, then they just need to follow through with that and make sure that any character, really for the most part, is either not believed, that was a Sith that they dealt with, or they do have to be, dunzo. So I think that you just gotta. It depends on how they execute it. If they execute it well, then I don't know. I don't think we'll have as much of a problem, depending on how they do it. But the problem is, like with Obi-Wan, that's really where, for me, like they just like because of Obi-Wan.
Yes. That's where they like straight shot canon for me, and I was just like, okay, I guess canon's not a thing anymore. So whatever.
The only way I can enjoy Kenobi is just like actually blocking out 90% of it and just like enjoying the fun visuals or like little quotes here and there. But like I can appreciate the like, all right, this is a cool fight between Kenobi and Vader, but this is a nice fan film. This is nice.
Right, you almost have to think of it as a fan film. Like, this isn't real lore, like this is just.
It's really cool though, he's got the high ground. He's going crazy. We like to see it.
But the problem too is that there's like, even that show, for me, there's a better story out there in that timeline that's already been written, that's already done. And if they would have done that, it would have been a huge success. At least a bigger success. It wouldn't have broke canon and been totally crazy, but.
For real.
Yeah.
In previous shows, I'm not gonna like quote what we've said before about the Acolyte, but we've definitely discussed the Acolyte. I know at some point I talked with you about like a while back, months ago, like probably 6 months ago, they were saying that this show is going to have the most lightsaber fights, like more than the prequels and stuff. I don't remember that being a big thing, big talking point. There's going to be a lot of lightsaber. Based off that trailer, it's either they're not showing any of those lightsaber fights. I mean, we see a lot of lightsabers, but is that a fight? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like, did they overhype something again, or are they just not showing us the real meat,
Right, and are they talking themselves up, like saying that it's going to be that and it's going to be one thing, but they're just literally talking about the amount of lightsabers. Maybe not even the amount of lightsaber fights. It's just the amount of lightsabers.
Imagine that's the last episode. All right, we've got like 6 Jedi igniting a saber against our bad guy. Oh, they take them all out in one go. It's like,
right,
that's pretty cool though, right? We threw in some yellow sabers in there too, right?
Right. Yeah, you guys saw that, right? It was super cool. You guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, I do appreciate the use of like the yellow sabers though too.
I do too. Yeah,
that's something that like I'm not gonna get upset that like, oh well, we didn't really see many in the prequels. Like, I don't care. It's in like my favorite games I play. I don't care what like. Yellow lightsabers should have always been used, but I'm okay with little things like that add onto the lore. Like, I can watch the prequels or originals, and I'm not going to be sitting there thinking like, oh, there's no yellow sabers in this. Like, what?
It's crap. I want my yellow sabers.
Right.
I will not stand for this. Well, even in Bad Batch, it's cool that we got that. I enjoyed that. Was tastefully done for me.
Yeah, for sure.
With they showed it in the trailer too, Asajj. So
we didn't really talk much about Asajj. We'll have to talk a little bit here. Miss Manrique says she just saw episode 9. Speaking of Bad Batch,
oh nice.
I think the Acolyte trailer was tastefully done. Not too much info. I mean, they definitely didn't spoil much. I'm holding out hope that hopefully it's better. I don't know, like the show itself. But if you enjoyed it, that's good. I'm not in the like. I didn't leave a dislike on it. Like, actually, I think I instinctively just left a like on it because I like to see Star Wars succeed. But
right,
I would probably just not like or dislike that trailer. I would probably just like it was just a trailer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and for us, it was just like mid.
Yeah,
it just felt like Aka mid. You know,
Yeah.
It just felt like it wasn't like it didn't hype me up, but it didn't like totally destroy things. It just wasn't enough story or anything. But you know, it's the first trailer too. Although it is coming out fairly soon, so I'm guessing they're probably going to be dropping more trailers coming up with a little bit more story for us to kind of sink our teeth into. But you got to think about it too. Trailers are supposed to, usually Star Wars trailers for me, even when the show sucks, the trailers are usually pretty exciting and they get us pretty pumped for the show. Like they take a lot of good elements and
sequels have the best trailers ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. If you made if you had the quality of the trailers turn out to be the quality of the movies, like from the trailers of the movies, they would have been excellent movies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no. Speaking of Bad Batch, though, and like something that was good, the most recent episode was I really did enjoy that one, and Asajj Ventress in it. I really like seeing this like kind of more mature Ventress and kind of similar to us, like seeing things as, you know, it's not dogmatic like the Jedi and no more like Sith-like. And more level-headed than the Bad Batch. I mean, they're just coming out swinging right away at her, basically.
Yeah, dude.
But
it made sense though.
Yeah, it makes sense with all she had done, and I guess from their perspective. But I really did like seeing Asajj, and I liked everything about her. The character model, like I think you guys were saying that yesterday. Updated, looked real good. And like just the test felt very Star Wars like, and still Jedi like, even though she's not going to claim it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know that was like the interesting thing with Asajj is because like obviously she's like dark side background. I mean, technically she did start off as a like a Jedi apprentice in her backstory, and then she became Sith after her master died on a planet, and then she was kind of like she went through some real hardships and then was found by Dooku. So I think it was Dooku. It was either Dooku or Sidious. But yeah, and so she kind of went to the dark side. So she has the good, but like most of her life, it was dark side. So I just loved how they showed her maturity, but still the difficulty in being good. Like it's like she's got to actually work at being good. She's like, I wasn't planning on killing you, but you're making it very difficult. I actually really like that line and how they did it. Yeah, the things just made sense for me with how they handled her and the Bad Batch all together, and I really enjoyed them.
It makes me really want to see, because they said they'll tell her story of how she like survived or whatever. Love to see that in Tales, or even like I like Star Wars animated. You could do 12 episodes, 6 episodes of Asajj, and I'm not going to complain. Like that's the bonus content that like you do animated Asajj like 6 to 12 episodes. That's low stakes to me. That's just extra Star Wars to me. That like I'm not gonna be like, oh, this episode was like, or like, nah, like I'm just gonna like that would be cool. To see
you even got it written out. I mean, just do the book, do the Dark Disciple that they already did, and just turn that into a series, an animated series, and then show us, you know, how she survived. I think Asajj is a great character. Asajj has been around for a long time.
Really, part of my childhood too. Like, it's been a long time. But like that's like not to say my first villain, but like because I'd seen the prequels, even if it wasn't on film though. But like growing up, the first time something's releasing, the first time, like an actual villain, kind of was Asajj. For me, I guess. A big part of my childhood. I'm just now realizing something I answered earlier when you asked about Ahsoka and like, would you want it to be animated? I didn't say some of what I wanted to say, which is also,
go ahead.
I'd love to see an animated version of like Balin's story if they can't tell that, or animated of those like 9 years in between. I think that would be great. Makes for some great animated content, or even a book. Timothy Zahn said he would love to write that in between. Greenlight it and give it to him.
Yeah, seriously. He could flesh that world out and that whole galaxy.
Yeah.
You give him that giant sandbox, dude, he is gonna go crazy in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really excited me the most, is the prospect of new with Ahsoka. And right now, for me, Ahsoka, it gets the pass, and I like a lot of it, but that's because I see it as a setup. And if future stuff if they don't expand on that galaxy, Ahsoka, for me, I'm on record here for saying it, they will take major blows, like for my point level. If they don't expand on it, or future stuff does not hit better, like my Ahsoka rating is going to drop by like a whole letter grade.
No, that's fair. You know, sometimes you gotta save for the end, and that's what I was trying to do, even just for that series as a whole. Like going through it, I didn't really love a lot of it. I liked episode 5, and I was like, but you know, even when we were reviewing it, I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this as much as I was hoping I would, but I gotta save it for the end. Depending on how they finish this, will determine how the rest of it is. But you're going even farther than that.
Yeah.
I guess I cut it there for just grading it as the season.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you know, depending on the next season and where they go with it, could affect how we enjoy this setup, like you said. So
I mean, it does really depend, I guess, where things do kind of end up. Like, I hate to say it, this isn't like all the case, but like, does Mando season 1 and 2 lose a couple points just because I'm less interested in general now that season 3's like mid? Like, looking back on it, I'm like, I still love, like, I'd love to rewatch it, but then it's like, all right, do I just stop at season 2 or?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it definitely takes some points away. You know, it definitely doesn't get you as excited. You know, when something doesn't end well.
Yeah. Whereas, like,
it's
when it was
harder to
just
go back and rewatch.
Even when it was just season 1 and 2 of Mando, for me, like, I thought Mando season 1 was a lot of fun. Like, but I never thought it was like actually amazing. Then I got season 2.
It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, then I got season 2 and finished season 2, and now I just saw it as a collective, like, this is great. Like, I love season 1 and 2. Like, so I guess I'm hoping for Ahsoka. I think the main premise for me was there was a lot of ideas, like good initial ideas. Like, okay, we've got a whole kind of new galaxy. There's this mysterious power in the background Balin's searching for. Obviously, the idea with Thrawn and all that. But, like, they can expand and hit on a lot of those. I can continue to overlook, I guess, some of the more, I guess, lackluster or slower moments and see it more of an overarching, like, okay, Ahsoka season 1 planted the seeds of these, like, interesting ideas. Peridia, I mean, the outro always, they should have made the outro the intro to that show. I know that's a very minor thing, but, like, that outro was so, like, good and, like, Game of Thrones. Like, if they made that, like, right in the beginning, that would have got me. I mean, it was great to see, but okay, I'm going on a tangent, but I think you can get what I'm kind of saying.
No, I totally get that, and that's a very great point. If they did animated with Ahsoka, but that would be a good way to bring in Balin again and to continue that story instead of having to recast or, you know, doing his like list. You could do a voice actor, you know, and people are, I think, more forgiving of that, and then it wouldn't be too jarring just for the fact that, you know, we've seen a lot of these characters in animation already, but you would have to change some of them and to tell that story if it's a good story. You know, but if it's a fantastic story, then we're going to be like, they should have done this live action, those dummies.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
But at least we get it, you know?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, for sure.
So I like that. That's a good point. There's a lot of potential there. And that was actually, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rip on Ahsoka too much, but I that was like one of the biggest things for me was just the fact that it was like huge missed opportunities. Like that hurts me more than anything. I was just like, but like you're saying, it's set up. So if they do continue it, then I'll have to eat my words on that. I'll be like, okay, no, they are now doing what I was hoping they were doing. They're delivering on some of those opportunities that they even set up themselves. So
yeah,
that's where I fall with that.
And yeah, I don't see Ahsoka as the perfect show. I think there's some episodes in there that are really, like, for what Disney's produced, like there's a good string of them in the middle that are really, really good, at least for me. Episode 7 is a hard pill for me to swallow. Like,
yeah,
I there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
Like that does take away from me. I just kind of gotta like, you know, hold on. Like,
right. There's more to come, right?
But it was like, oh, you're gonna give like the best are some of the best I've seen to then like that's tough. It does matter, I guess, where we end up. I think
I'll say the show went up in smoke like my man Maroc did, and from then on out, I just couldn't.
See, I thought that was funny though.
I know, right? The hype and everything again, but those like missed opportunities. Like, how much more interesting would have been Penn if it was somebody cool? But
right. But hey, at least they killed a character, right? Right, like
I mean, is he ever? Are they ever really gone? I mean, he's already
we're gonna
dead
see
once,
him.
Apparently,
Okay. Season 2 starts. We've got some intense dark music. They've got the new Night Sisters. They've got like some sticky glue, and they're like piecing them back together. We've got
inflating them with the thing.
And then we get like Kylo Ren's mask, but like part 2, but now it's Barack. They just put some duct tape on them.
Oh my gosh, dude, I would actually love that.
Coming to a theater near you.
Yeah, but then you do like the scene from Baymax where you like poke little tiny holes in them, and then it's like
he just like he flies away, just
he pokes a hole in himself to get away.
You heard it here. You heard it here, Dave Filoni. That's what we need.
Free, man. Just take it and run with it. That's what we need. Don't take it seriously at all, and I think we'll enjoy it more. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, for real though.
Why did they make him so cool though? He was like epic fighting. He like stood his own against Ahsoka. Why did you do that? I don't know.
I think Ahsoka was just toying with him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she was definitely, but I mean, he did all right.
Yeah,
better than most.
Yeah.
He did better than Inquisitors.
Yeah. For that one Inquisitor from Tales got greased.
Yeah.
No lightsaber, no nothing. Something I think Pen Patrol Anthony. I don't know if he mentioned this to me or just like reminded me though. Like, and that's the thing with Ahsoka, and I want to feel his presence more. Is like she is the chosen one's apprentice. She's super strong, but beyond that, she has fought against in the same day actually because of the World Between Worlds. She's fought Maul, Vader, and Sidious through the World Between Worlds and survived them all. Sidious through the World Between Worlds with the Sith lightning. Like she had defended that in a span of a day, and she is still alive. No, I don't know who's had like better resumes than that. I guess other than you could say maybe Obi-Wan, maybe Luke Skywalker. Like I expect greatness from Ahsoka and power.
No, it totally makes sense. Honestly, she has fought like everyone and survived and lived. I mean, she's kind of a scrapper, but also like showed her prowess, especially beating. For me, like the most epic moment for me fighting was whenever she defeated Maul on Mandalore. Like that was one of the best moments for me with Ahsoka. I was like, that was epic, dude.
Yeah. And Maul's essentially back to full power or even stronger than he was too, and that's no joke. Maybe he dissected Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Don't. I'm not gonna bring it up.
Okay. Well, I know where you're going. Trust me, I am certified. I made a video explaining everything.
No.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously. You did. Yeah, you did go into depth with that. So that's true. We'll leave it at that.
I mean, totally not cope. And making fun of it, but no. I think I
like the fact that what's his name? There's another YouTuber. He does like the deep fakes. He's really funny, man. But he did one. It's like Qui-Gon reacting.
Yeah, those are the funniest videos ever.
And then when he watches that episode, he's like, "Come on!" He's like so mad, and I was like, "Yes." It was so funny.
Oh, I love I like fully watched the prequel rewatch. Like that's some of the funny, or like when he's watching the prequels. And he seems like a nice kid, or like.
Exactly, and he has no idea.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's super creative. I forget the channel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forget his name.
But
no, we should.
I mean, they're super popular. If you just type in deep fake like Qui-Gon Jinn, you'll find them.
Yeah, dude, and he's hilarious. That was so funny.
Yeah. Mr. Enrique saying, and we're gonna head to the Q&A section. So and just chatting with chat here. So if you have things to ask or stuff you want to talk about, let's do it. But Dan's liking the sticky glue Maroc idea. I think make it canon. Come on.
Yeah, seriously, so good. You're like a one-off comic about it. Oh my gosh, he's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. As you wish.
Oh no. This man Rick was saying, okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of the Redwall series. It had 13 episodes, and after release, they edited it down into a single film. I think we needed an Ahsoka movie edited like that. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. But if they can do that for like what season 2 would have been, but just make it some kind of movie, I think that could be really something special. Make it that movie budget in 2 hours, like 5 hours and 50 minutes stretched out with a movie budget makes things worse, bro. Like it just like make it 2.5 hours with the same budget and make it really good.
Yeah, because the thing about sometimes shortening things is you get to the point, and you just don't have time for the fluff. Mm-hmm. So that's the nice thing about shortening things sometimes, unless you have such an epic scope and you have so much information to get, that can be challenging. But if you don't and you condense it and you're just hitting the highlights, that's what keeps people interested. And, you get through it and it's awesome.
Yeah. Another thing I'm realizing too, maybe with a shorter movie they could afford to put Zeb in there. That was the biggest joke for me at the time. Like that was something I always ripped, even though I liked it. I'm like, how are you not gonna put Zeb in it? Like,
dude, and he looked the best out of like all of them. That sounds mean, but like. Those are some of the cleanest CGI I'd ever seen coming from animation to live action.
They can't just flex that and not use it.
Yeah. I was like, what the poop? I mean, unless they're teasing it for, the next time.
That's what I mean. If he does show up and make a big entrance, it could make everything better. So I've got to hold out hope. But if there's no Zeb and it's worse than Ahsoka Season 1, I'll be the first to say it, and I will rip it loud.
I will be right behind you.
The Stay on Target librarians here. Hello there, General Kenobi. Yes, the Charlie Hopkinson channel. That's what it is.
That's
Super
what
hilarious.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that.
He's worthy of the shout out there.
For sure. Definitely. Disney needs to practice editing and overwriting and overfilming. Yeah, Disney does need to practice editing. I don't want to say I'm the best editor ever, but I think I could have cut a better Acolyte trailer together. Did I say that?
I agree, actually. I completely agree.
I don't know what their vault's working with, but
yeah, but think about this, dude. What if like the editors are actually pretty good for those trailers, but they're just like,
it's bad.
This is all garbage, and we like. What? You want me to work with this? Like, I don't know. No, I'm not trying to be that negative, but who knows?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's the questions we gotta ask ourselves. And speaking of questions here, let's get into our first question. We've got the Stay on Target fact checker. Which shout out, by the way, we did a Kotar 2 live stream the other day, and she was watching from a plane. So, if you've ever had excuses as to why you can't come to a Bismo live stream, you best get rid of them. I expect you guys all to be there the next time I stream. Yes. Maybe if I had a more concrete schedule, that's kind of on me. Life's busy. But no, I do intend to finish the Kotar 2 on stream. So that would be kind of our... Not to say next thing. We'll still be doing the Bismo show kind of when we can, with guests and whatnot, but I think I want to do a little bit more gaming and get back to the roots. Oh,
yeah, man. You're such an awesome gamer. Excellent gamers.
So well, when I'm playing these games like this, I don't feel like it. They're hard. Like when you got to just use just your brain and not your, like, I don't know, skill per se.
Yeah, but it's hilarious. Like if you were to watch our live stream gaming and me trying to like beat like a semi-boss and it takes me like 18 tries and then like you're just like wrecking shop like immediately. I'm just like, I suck.
No, you're good at Survivor. Dan, on the other hand.
When
I was watching the stream that one time and I was like grinding away in homework, and then I look and I see then activates the droid to like take over a different droid. I'm like, oh, nice, and then he just slices him up. I was dying.
It's just like Dark Side Dan. I'm like, wait, Dan, no, wait, Dan. It's just like, death to all the droids. Like,
good. I think I was like hyping him up in the chat, like, oh, Dan, let your anger flow.
That's hilarious, dude.
That's so much fun. Yeah,
That's
definitely
one of the funniest moments.
definitely check out the Stay on Target Jedi Survivor playthrough. Did you guys also do Fallen Order, or are you considering doing that too?
We started Fallen Order, but we never finished it. So
that'd be fun to do. I'd love to see that again, though. But
we got like 1 or 2 episodes of that one. That one's pretty fun, but we really tried to make more of an effort to finish the second one, and that worked out pretty good for us. Although not quite as skillfully as you do on your channel, man. Your game is
no, I'm not too. I mean, Rocket League, sure, I'm skilled, but
well, they can watch that too. They can, and the proof is in the pudding there for the fact that it was 4v1 and we still got absolutely destroyed. So I'm talking truth right now.
that was a ton of fun. It was close. All right. I'll actually ask the question now from the fact checker.
Yeah.
No, but knowing that you both like to cook yummy food or craft delicious coffee drinks, what's been your recent favorite meal or concoction that you've made?
Ooh,
I do love to cook. You got any recent ones?
Any recent concoctions, man? I mean, it surprised me, and it's not really like a meal per se. It's more of like a snack dessert. I actually really enjoyed, speaking of the gaming live stream, was that Reese's and caramel. I actually really enjoyed that. I was pleasantly surprised.
Like Reese's and are they just?
Yeah, it's like a big cup. The big cups they have of Reese's cups, but then they have like a caramel.
Oh, is that like a new thing?
Layer. Yeah, it was like a new thing.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
And I actually really enjoyed it. Funny thing is, the Sonnet Librarian did not enjoy, or not Librarian. I'm sorry, the Sonnet Fact Checker did not enjoy it. The Librarian actually enjoyed it, but the Fact Checker did not, and it was kind of funny to me. I was like, man, this is like a breath of fresh air for Reese's. I don't know. It was interesting. So that's the only recent one of lately that I can think of. I'm sure my wife has made many amazing meals, and they're always amazing. And I should probably be naming those, but. They're always great, so I can't even name one because they're all amazing. So, what about you?
Well, I was super busy with school, so my diet was a bit rough here. But I was like, all right, I need to meal prep a little bit. And I recently actually made, and then Fact Checker is also not going to like this, but I made So I finally got some venison back, some venison ground, and I made venison chili, and it was better than the regular chili I made, dude. It was actually super good, bro.
Dude, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day that we can actually hang out together and
heck yeah, man,
cook some meals or something. That sounds super fun.
Yeah. I recently, I've been making more homemade pizzas. I like doing that. Yeah, I guess recently the venison chili was a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
But a welcome. Surprise me, sure, but a welcome one. I like that. I like how you just slip those quotes in there, like they're like.
Hey, you do it too. I'm not. You do it too. There you go.
Not as smoothly as you, my friend. Not as smoothly as you. But man, the chat is liking this though. Grub Killer says first try final boss. What do you mean? Yeah, because I did say that. I was like, first try.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. That's definitely a tough one. It
was just me. I needed Nick or Matt there. They're actually good at it.
I think I either first or second tried that one. However, the Dagon second fight, I think I visibly raged on stream. I think.
Oh really?
A little bit. It took a lot of tries for that, but I think I had first tried the last one, so I was super pumped about that. But
that's impressive, dude. That was the toughest one for me.
This summer, you guys need a field trip, a meeting.
Yes. You never know. You never know.
We'll see. What was that? Dan said Reese's and caramel, a travesty. I feel like that sounds good. He didn't like it either.
No, he didn't like it either.
It's crazy to see, brothers being so different. Me and my brother are pretty similar for a lot of things, but then sometimes I'm just like, what'd you say? Or like, you don't like that? Like, it's like,
It
what?
doesn't throw you off. You're like, what?
Yeah, like I
You're
learned that my brother doesn't like baked potatoes or something like he doesn't like baked potatoes. I'm like, what, dude?
Are you even my brother? That was like when Nick and Matt found out that Baja Blast wasn't my favorite Mountain Dew. They were like, our friendship is based on a lie.
What is
like,
your favorite?
If I like regular.
Regular? Yeah.
That one's the one I always go back to, but they're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
good in their own ways. But
Yeah.
regular, I don't know.
Yeah,
Not that I
I
have it all
think
the time, but
Yeah, I don't have a ton these days, but like I think Code Red was usually my go-to.
that's
It's one of the
good one,
you know, like a little bit of a gamer. There was a time when I was really like it was bad though, but
Right.
like when I was a kid. But I actually do just normal Coca-Cola too sometimes. That's one of my guilty. Like I know it's horrible for me, bad for me, but like I just like a Coca-Cola every once in a while.
everything in moderation, you know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good for the
It's not gonna
soul,
kill
and I think that's better for you to be happier every once in a while than the health benefits. But
Right.
next question though from Dan. Do you think Ventress will get her own animated show or return in some live action form? Ooh, I think live action would be super ambitious. She's never been in live action before, has she? Think so.
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know where she would. I hope, and I think we mentioned this, but yeah, I would love a 6 to 12 episode like talk about the book, or
Yeah.
something else, or even like Tales of the Jedi. I think they said they're gonna explain how she survived, so I gotta expect something. Minimum one episode of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, for sure. At least to explain that, because like the way they ended that, I was like, okay, you kind of did a cop out in some ways for the fact that you said, I got many lives, and I was like, okay, that kind of wreck on the book a little bit. But unless they can explain it in a way, and unless they can explain it in a way that
does she
really
like
makes
come
sense.
back to life in the book?
I mean, I don't want to spoil. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Spoiler warning. Yeah. Let her fly.
All right. Spoiler warning, everybody. But yeah, no, in the book, she actually sacrifices herself to save Quinlan from Dooku.
Okay, and
So
then like
Dooku-
that's her end.
That's her end. She dies technically in Quinlan's arms.
Well, did they ever confirm the kill?
I mean, I guess
did they Star Wars confirm it?
Maybe more Star Wars confirmed, but I mean the way that like Quinlan and them, reacted, and I mean I think she got like lightning to death too. So maybe she wasn't fully dead.
Yeah.
So
she was in with the Night Sisters though. So and
so
Mitch
there could be
Van Riek
that.
just said that. So
right, that's a good point. So they could pull that out. Obviously, you could definitely do something there. Maybe resurrect her. Maybe some Night Sisters got together. Maybe Marin, resurrected her or something like that. I could see that. As long as they don't.
Yeah.
As long as she's not an inflatable suit.
Yeah, leave that to Marok.
That's a
Fact checker had said no to the beans. Doesn't like the chili. Do you like chili, or I don't know?
Me? Dude, I love chili. Are you kidding me? Chili's awesome, especially in the winter months, like
Yeah.
fall, winter.
When it got super cold again, I'm like, I'm making chili.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife makes a good white chicken chili. I love it. Just had it last night.
Ooh.
It's so good.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and the librarian did remind me that we did just get into smash burgers, which were like just started making smash burgers, and that was delicious. That was actually really good.
I know what they are. I've never made them myself. I don't know if I've had them before or not, but recommend.
Yeah, definitely recommend. They're not too difficult, but it's almost like you're having like a burger and a taco, like, but you get like a the meat. You usually roll up into a ball, or you can flatten it out a little bit, and then you put a tortilla on it, and then you put the meat down, tortilla, and then you smash it down on like a griddle or grill or whatever. Well, I mean, it's got to be a flat surface, black top, and then it spreads out, but it cooks quick. I mean, it only takes like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're good. You flip it, throw some cheese on it, and then we do kind of like a concoction of like, my wife makes it like I don't know. It's kind of like a bunch of different things mixed together. The sauce, but you throw pickles on there. You throw all this stuff for like a burger, and it tastes amazing. And you can do different iterations though too. There's a lot of different ones out there.
Sounds great. Sounds like a family favorite. I know that's
it is.
Yeah.
And my kids eat it. That's the other thing, and they love it. So that's a win for us.
Sounds really good. I'll have to try that sometime for sure. I mean, I love
good.
burgers. I love steak.
Steak's my other. If I were to say anything, I like making steaks. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I think that's where I really got into cooking. My one of my buddies is he's really into cooking and kind of helped me kind of get into it too. But like, I really perfected doing just steak. Getting a good crust, good medium rare, I guess.
Yeah.
Love doing that. But these days, steak's so expensive, I have just a lot of venison steak.
Yeah, but you cook a good venison steak, you can get it. I mean, it's near like a regular steak.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell the difference.
Sure. Backstrap and even some of the other cuts too. I really like it. But Grub Killer said Baja is the basic pick. Code Red is for the kings. Voltage is a sleeper pick. Yeah. Like what that's valid.
Yeah.
Even Dan agrees with the Code Red.
Yeah, nice. Code Red for the win, people.
Heck yeah.
I would actually, don't tell Nick or Matt, but I would definitely pick Code Red over Baja Blast.
It would be between me and you.
And all these wonderful people in the chat that were watching.
Oh, wait. We're live?
We're live? Oh, no!
What?
Dang it! The secret is out! It's like on the news article. Dustin hates Baja Blast. Betrayed friends. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's like next week. I don't even tell you. I just have like Nick on or something like that. The first thing I say is, "Dude, guess what?"
The drama continues.
That'd be great. No, I've been meaning to, but they're welcome to come on. I know Nick's a little afraid of me. He's avoided me the last couple of times.
Oh man, if you keep calling him out like that, he might show up. But I don't know. Nick is he's Sith. He's dark side, man. He doesn't necessarily pull his punches. So watch out.
I like it. I like it for that. I'd love to have that at least I'm on at least one time. Just let it fly. I kind of get into like a true like put the punches up Ahsoka versus Andor.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he would do it too. I mean, watch out what you wish for. You throw Hunter Davis in the mix, and then,
no.
It's gonna get. I might have to come to your side, help you out. No, I'm joking.
I think I'd have to maybe bring on Dan if we're talking Ahsoka, but
yeah, that's true. You would probably. Sorry, maybe not me.
No, but no, I think
we're referee.
Yeah, no. Right.
Low blow. Oh yeah, well you're dumb. No, it's like whatever it amounts to. You don't even like Baja Blast, Dustin.
What? Just stray to the ref like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
red flag. You're out.
Yeah, Ventress and Tales of the Jedi, I could certainly see it. I mean, we know Tales of the Jedi. That's probably got to be after. I mean, that's got to be the end of this year, or like Q3 this year. I would say, like fall.
Tales? I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, either fall or Christmas time, maybe.
Yeah,
I could see them not really stepping on the toes of Acolyte.
Yeah, I mean, they stepped on the toes of Bad Batch season 2 with Mando season 3.
Yeah, I know that was
dumb. Like we've got this gap of no content, and now let's have 2 shows going at once.
Right, yeah. What the crap are you guys doing? I did not enjoy that. I was like, well, you guys have a whole year. Like, you can't spread it out enough to not coincide.
It's already oversaturated enough to where, like, okay, you can't even space it out, right?
Yeah. Who's picking these dates?
Right.
Tom? Is that you, Tom?
Yeah,
I'm just making that up. I have no idea. But
Tom.
Yeah, Tom. There's somebody in the chat's like, hey,
that's me. Hey, if there's someone named Tom watching this, we weren't referring to you. Oh no, but if you do the scheduling, we're serious.
We're serious.
Figure it out.
Fix that crap right now. But maybe maybe they will drop it during Acolyte if Acolyte is doing horribly. They might drop Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Sith season 2. Actually, that might coincide well for the fact that Acolyte is supposed to be more Sith oriented, or at least dark side.
Yeah, that
Rise of the
aspect
Dark Side.
excites
Tales
me.
of the Sith.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. They definitely got to make a better second trailer, though. There's no two ways about it. They want to promote it, or maybe this is part of their plan. Like, just get a lot of viewers. They like the thing that I cringed at the most, like, about this, is it wasn't like the number of dislikes. It wasn't like the fandom going back and forth or whatever. It was Star Wars putting a tweet out saying the Acolyte trailer is breaking records. It's the most viewed ever. Like, there is no way you guys are just tweeting that. Just like,
yeah,
that's like, in what like world of fake news do we live in? Like, so what is that?
That's like the most blatant lie of all time. I think, were they trying to say in like a 24-hour period or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. But even if it had the most views, how are you going to say that and just disregard the dislikes? Like, that didn't happen. Either way, ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, what? Are you? What? Okay.
Yeah, Miss Frederica was saying, I want to learn how to do a Pittsburgh steak perfectly. Pittsburgh rare. Is that just blue?
Ooh.
Is that blue?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Pittsburgh
sure. I like what the librarian said. I'm not sure what that is, but you had me at steak, and I'm in the same boat with that. Yeah, what is a Pittsburgh steak?
Well, I don't know, because I know what a like.
Oh,
blue...
okay. She said, Miss Mary said, rare charred.
Isn't that kind of like?
It's kind of like blue.
I mean, that's how you would.
But charred. I don't know. I don't know if blue is charred though.
Fair. I mean, anytime I'm making a steak, I'm trying to get like a char on it.
Right.
Like, ideally, or at least some
caramelization on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd eat it. As long as it's a high quality piece of meat. I'm not gonna be squeamish, but I probably wouldn't eat a Pittsburgh blue from a Quick Trip steak.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah. The funny thing is, you say Quick Trip. I like where we live on Hoth. We don't even know exactly what that is. Is that? Explain to us what I do know what it is, but explain to those who might not know.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. Well, it's just like a convenience / gas station right? And
yeah,
you need a store or sell chips or whatever else. But this one gas station, it would sell like, I forget if it was a summer thing, but like 99-cent steaks. And it's like, oh, this is great for I would do this in high school when I'd go with some friends to like their like camp or whatever to like hang out for a bit. Like, yeah, let's get some steaks. And like, for 99 cents, I didn't get sick, and they were actually reasonable. Would I eat that like rare though, or like it's for rare? Probably not. Like, I probably am gonna want that cooked.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. It's no. Oh shoot, what's that one I was thinking of? The one that's down south. It's like a huge Buc-ee's. It's not a Buc-ee's. You ever been to one of those or heard about those?
I think I've heard of them, but I'm not super familiar. What
Buc-ee's
is
that? Buc-ee's is like again a gas station, but it's like a all-in-one like gas station, like convenience store, but like grocery store. But they have like 100 like fueling spots.
Oh wow!
And like they're cooking. Like my brother-in-law just went down, and he said he was there at like midnight or like 1 a.m, and they were cooking like what was it like not ribeye, what am I trying to say? But they were cooking like all different kinds of meat and stuff like that. At like 2 a.m, he said it was fantastic. It was amazing. So it's like, yeah, if you ever get a chance, look up a Buc-ee's. It's crazy. I mean, like, the managers there, like one of the managers makes like over $100K a year. Just to kind of give like the semi-scope. Not that that's everything, but it's a very well established,
lucrative, and you get a lot of steak. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so. It sounds
I might have to rethink my my career choices. But...
Right, I know, me too. Going to work at Buc-ee's.
Do they wear like a special uniform, like a hard hat, or like
I think
cool, or...
shoot, no, I'm not even sure. I think it's like a gopher or something like that. Or maybe I'm getting that. I might be getting that horribly wrong. Please don't crucify me in the chat. Grub Killer might know what I'm talking about.
Joke's
Looks
on you.
like
The best steaks are
Buc-ee's.
from the truck stops, he says. Crumb Killer.
Right.
Yeah, I like my meat mystery at the library.
Yeah. Mystery me? I don't know about that. Oh man. Yeah, it's like I don't know if that's a woodchuck or a gopher or whatever the heck it is. It's got
Something
giant
like
front
that?
teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look it up, but they're like the world's largest convenience store. That's like one of their world records. World's longest car wash. They hold a bunch of different stuff, so it's a real interesting.
Wow. Okay, there actually are a few even by me. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you'll have to check one out one of these times. Just
Okay,
check it
there's
out.
like-
it seems like it's an experience.
Well, maybe not near me, but okay, I see. Okay. Oh
See what
yeah,
I'm
that looks
saying?
kind of like a. Yeah, it looks maybe like a beaver. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
I know Star Wars. I don't know animals. Apparently,
I've never-
is that a woodchuck?
yeah. Someone let us know.
Yeah, we need to know. These are the answers. These are the
yeah.
questions. that we need to answer.
Never been to a Buc-ee's. I just know the owner's son got caught using hidden cameras in the bathrooms. Okay,
Oh,
noted.
Okay. Well, well, don't use their restroom.
If you go to Buc-ee's, you can't go to the bathroom. No, I'm sure there's. I think there's something sketchy that's happened in just about any like.
You're right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm whatever.
Yeah. Low blow, Mrs. Manrique. She said it's a tauntaun.
Oh, that was you did you were going try hard. You named so many that I was like, wait, what even is that? Like, there's a couple of them I didn't even know that you named. So props to you.
I'm pretty sure I named every other creature in that film except for the right one for the very end.
Yeah. Wait, who ended up winning?
Dan pulled it out. Yeah,
so
he
the
got
one that was suspected of cheating, I feel like this was rigged. Like, I don't know.
Might have been. I'm just saying he did peek a few times. I'm just, we all joke though that we all cheated.
Yeah, no, it was funny. That was you guys always have like the best games, but that one was super fun.
Yeah, it was. And yeah, we can't wait to have you on again. We are definitely going to have you on again because we got stuff in the works behind the scenes, plus the Acolyte coming up and just all Star Wars.
Heck
We're
yeah.
definitely going to have you back, and I think maybe we'll do that game if you want to.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do that if we can somehow figure out a way to do it. Guess all the animals but the tauntaun.
Yeah.
They're throwing you under the bus.
It was rough.
It was fun though. It's for our benefit, our entertainment. And with that being said, though, I hope any of y'all watching this or in the chat have enjoyed. It's been fun, but I think we've kind of covered just about everything we wanted to today. Thanks again, Dustin, for hopping on. I guess we got a couple last minute questions I missed here. Who is the hardest working person you have ever met / heard of? Well,
Bismo.
No,
You're a hard-working dude, man. You're doing a lot.
No, you.
No.
If you guys, I mean, both of y'all have packed schedules.
Right.
Busy. The hardest working person. I don't know. I mean, I will say that is like a lot of everyone that does content and stuff. It's got a lot going on, everyone to, I guess, make some of these work. So we appreciate just anyone tuning in, even if it's for a couple minutes here or there, just saying hi. Yeah. Really appreciate you guys, because we know that everyone out there has their own battles and fights to fight. So just taking the time to like check out my channel or any stay on target or just in general, what that means that you're spending your precious time doing that. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know if I really answered it, but just there's a lot of hard workers out there. I can't just pick someone, but I mean, even like Anthony, Pen Patrol Star Wars, that is his main focus is YouTube. He's working around the clock to get those videos out, churning it.
Yeah, he cranks it, dude. I don't even know how. He's like a machine.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But just for anything and to be successful with anything. Sure, some people might be more skilled or at certain things or whatever, but ultimately it's going to come down to putting in the work and just believing in yourself and just keep on fighting.
Segues, man, they're so good.
Grub Killer says, "What are some other anime besides Dragon Ball you're currently watching or have watched some of it recently?" Ooh, well, we might be going for a lot longer here. No, I'll try to wrap this up here. But so I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, kind of similar to Dragon Ball. I just finished part like 6, I believe. I think I only have one part left, but there's no more on Crunchyroll. That's a fun one if you like action that's not super serious. Currently watching Spy X Family, which is kind of like a
I heard
comedy.
that one was really good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely like I like comedy ones, but that are also kind of like serious.
Yeah,
so that's been good. I recently saw the new Demon Slayer movie just in theaters, which is mostly the last season with like a little bit of the new stuff. Looking forward to the new season of Demon Slayer. I mean, last year. This year or last year, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was super good, and Vinland Saga, and then the end of Attack on Titan. I mean, I think I named just about everything I had watched or most recently watched, but those were some really good ones, I guess. Any you've recently been on?
Yeah, so for me, I just finished. It was a little while ago. I haven't had a lot of time to watch a lot of stuff lately, but I just finished One Punch Season 2 not too long ago, and that was absolutely hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, dude. Season 3 is like coming soon. There was actually an official trailer. Maybe I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I that it came out, or a couple of weeks ago.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I can't wait for that. That is probably one of my favorite anime ever. I mean, just because it's so silly, but
we might have to cover that sometime.
Dude, we should.
Like,
I would
do
love
like an episode review or some kind of show on it. We'll have to figure something out.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. I would love that. Other than that, I did kind of dip my toe into One Piece a little bit. But that is so fast that I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I saw like a short one guy did, and it was like he had like 8 like screens at once, and he's like, it's the only way to catch up on all this on the show before season 1 comes out or season 2, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm kind of like skipping around a little bit. I'm kind of jumping more to like where season 1 ends, so that I can maybe have a better appreciation for season 2 of the live action one, because I really enjoyed the live action one for me anyway.
Okay, but I heard a lot of people actually did, which is. It shows that it is possible to do live action of animation good,
right?
Which I didn't even know if was possible, but at least animation.
So, so it's not really anime, but like I've watched. Have you watched Invincible?
Yeah, I'm caught up with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they would do it. That's like definitely not for kids at all.
Yes, definitely.
But it is like
it's good,
pretty intense. And then the other one, I've been pleasantly surprised, and I'm still nervous, but I'm like really enjoying it. Is X-Men 97?
Oh, you've been watching that one? I keep getting ads for it.
I've been watching that one, and I'm like, what the crap? This show is actually pretty dang good. I was like, what? Disney's coming out with something that I'm like really enjoying. What the crap's going on?
I was complaining. I kept getting, I was like, I got an ad. What is this? I never get ads on Disney Plus just for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but totally pleasantly surprised when we come out with 3 episodes. I mean, we're still waiting to see if anything goes off the rails, but I mean, it is more mature than even the old school one, which I was a huge fan of the old school one, in that.
Yeah, I actually did watch a few of those episodes of the old one, I think. I'm not super into it, but I know it exists. I know what you're talking about.
There's some epic scenes. That's what actually surprised me. There's some epic scenes. Like, he was Cyclops. I was like, what the person who wrote this really likes Cyclops. I was like, they just made him like boss mode. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if only we had more time, right? But
yeah, sorry.
I pretty much just I watch anime. Or just like most shows when it's like, all right, I'm eating lunch or dinner. That's just my like kind of schedule, like when I have the time. But
well, and then I want to start watching Dragon Ball. You said Dragon Ball Kai, right?
Yeah. Or like
because I've always jumped around with Dragon Ball, and I haven't been consistent enough with it. I watched it when I was younger. I kind of got away from it, and then but you told me that was a really good one to kind of jump back into.
Yeah, so. it kind of moves a little quicker. The animation's kind of sped up, or not sped up, but like there's no filler, and it's like the voice acting's better. I really like it, but yeah. Grub Killer said it's a big commitment. That's why I haven't done One Piece. Yeah, for me. Maybe eventually I'll get into it, but I'm not gonna I can't. There's no way I'm gonna watch the whole thing because I'd rather.
Right.
I do watch a lot of these like anime that are like 13 episode one-offs. I think I value just like getting more small stories. I guess I don't know. A little hypocritical because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and if you add up all the Dragon Ball episodes, it's kind of close to like half.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right. It is pretty close.
But still, I do like. I just like. I'm kind of spoiled. There's so much anime. I just like watching the good stuff, and I just want to watch the good stuff, and I don't have the time to watch everything, so I pretty much just watch all the good stuff. And if I don't like it after 2 episodes, I drop it, pretty much.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and that's the tough thing. Sometimes you got to give it some time. Like some of these take a little bit of time.
Yeah, some of them I know that are like people I trust. They're like, yeah, just this is good. Then I like give it more. Or if I'm just kind of exploring, I'll be like, maybe this isn't for me. I guess. Right. One other thing before we go, I'm sure you've seen ads for Shogun.
Yeah,
I'm up to date and watching that. That is a really good show right now.
Dude.
Definitely not for kids. Definitely not for kids, but it's super good. Exactly what I want, and it's like stuff I'm super interested about too. Like it's got the medieval esque that I like, but it's also kind of like history-y with like that shogunate era like 1600s Japan, like, and it seems pretty like obviously I can't be one to like talk super accurate on details, but of people that I follow that I guess like would know more of Japan culture and what I know, like it seems pretty accurate and it seems like it's pretty intense. It's just a good watch. Definitely recommend.
Dude, that's awesome. I've been wanting to watch it, and that just solidifies.
Yeah, Bismo stamp approval. No bull crap. It's good.
Okay. Wow. I'd say same so far for X-Men 97. If you like X-Men or anything like that, I'd say stamp approval for me on that so far. Okay. Now, I can't say till the end, but sure. I'm definitely going to watch Shogun now that you said that, because that looked, and I've heard it's really good. So, and I like history. History is really fascinating to me.
I think you'll really like it then.
That culture is fascinating just in general, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's kind of perfect. Isn't it a remake? Somebody said it was a remake, though.
Well, so it's just based off of a book.
Oh, okay.
And kind of like Dune, they I think try to do it
as faithfully as possible.
Well, like there actually was some kind of show like there actually is a Dune movie, right? That
there was one that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, kind of similar. I think there's similar like something that came out in the 80s or 90s that just not as good.
A 90s like miniseries, like sci-fi style. That's the one I actually watched first, was the 90s one, not the 80s one. But that one I actually enjoyed.
But yeah, Shogun similarly, I think like it's just one book, and I think there's like following this one much more true or whatever. But like it's I don't really know. All I know is it feels super accurate, and every episode I'm on the edge of my seat. And I'm like, what's gonna happen next, and it's just what you want.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Well, like not even like the end of an episode. It's just like every episode I'm like locked in the whole time. But
and that's a testament of a good show. A good, if you're locked in and you can't wait for the next one, I mean, they've done something right.
Heck yeah. Well, on that note, just want to say a big thanks to Dustin for coming back on. We'll have you back on again. Make sure to go check out Stay on Target. They recently just released a new music video, Dinbo video. Really great editing on that one. Make sure to go check it out and check out their weekly live streams Wednesdays at 7 Eastern, right?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, man, for having me. If you guys haven't yet, like this video. If you're over here from our channel or anything like that, subscribe, man. Bismo, he deserves your time, and he's always going to give you good quality Star Wars content. And I always love his takes on it, even though we can, discuss differences, but that's the fun. We can have difference of opinion, and we always enjoy talking to each other. And so that's what you're going to get here, and it's always fantastic stuff. And we got more stuff in the works between the two of us, so stay tuned to both of our channels as some stuff's coming. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on, man. It's always my pleasure.
Yeah. Well, We'll do it again soon. Okay.
Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah. Well, with that being said, we'll wrap up. Thanks again, Stay on Target, Fact Checker, everyone else that tuned in. I saw some new faces today, which was cool to see. So
Yeah.
hello to any of y'all. And if you're watching the VOD, I hope we could entertain or, brighten your day a little bit more. But that being said, that's going to be all. Sayonara.